Good afternoon. My name is John Mueller. I live here in Altoona. I'm married to the former Beverly Thompson. This popcorn truck belonged to her father, Jim Thompson. Jim and his brothers had actually started in the carnival business a little bit somewhere in the 30s, but this truck was one of their first pieces of equipment. They started with this one, ended up with 4 more of these trucks, all the amusement rides out of Lakemont Park, and 2 carnivals on the road. They also sold Christmas trees and snow plowing business and stuff to get everything going. We've had the truck in the family since, well, actually it was bought in 30. It's been about 12 years restoring it. There was only 47 of these vehicles built from 1926 to 1949. There's 8 or 9 now left in the country that we have been able to track down, and this is the only totally restored one that I know of. Actually, her father and brothers had 5 of these here in the city. After work every night, they would go ahead, each one of them would have a different route here in the city, and they would go to different neighborhoods, sell popcorn. They would also go to the local ball games and the ball games on Saturday. They would handle Huntington and the surrounding towns also, Claysburg, East Freedom, things like that. It took a good friend of mine, Larry Seidel. He's helped me do Corvettes in years past, but he and I restored it up on my hobby shop at the house. We took it totally apart. There isn't a bolt, nut, clip, or connector that we didn't replace. Everything is like it was built from the Dunbar factory originally. It has a 1/2 horsepower steam engine that runs the 2 popcorn poppers and the peanut roaster. It also has it actually feeds itself. It supplies its own water. It has a pump that runs everything. Originally, it was run on white gas, which you would use to light the boiler with. And once you got the boiler lit, then you had the steam in order to run the steam engine, which ran the poppers and the popcorn or the peanut roasters. Everything was done here in my own shop. We have a little hobby shop up at the house. We did all the work there, except we had the engine rebuilt by an outside supplier. Yeah, this is the original color. It's a bluebell blue with black fenders. All the cabin chassis were bought from Chevrolet by Dunbar and Company in Chicago. Then they put the wooden bodies on. And like I said, they only built 40-some trucks over 20-some years. So approximately 2 or 3 trucks a year were built.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, that's for sure.
Yeah. Originally, these bodies were actually horse-drawn. They started building them in the late 1800s, wow. And they were a horse-drawn body. In 1926, they put them on a motor chassis.
I see.
So anyway, that's about the story of it. Right, a good friend of mine in Minnesota, he and his wife have bought a truck like this also. And she was at a meeting in California. She's an obstetrician, so they were having a 3-day seminar. He has the same type of truck. And she was at an antique photo shop, going through all type of photographs, and she happened to find a picture of the popcorn truck, which in itself is rare. I have never seen another photograph of one of these trucks. So she bought the photograph, and that winter her husband and her sitting there looking at this picture with a magnifying glass and going all over it. And Bruce said to Darlene, he says, I think that looks like our truck. He said, but the name above the window is not the name of the people we bought it from. We bought it from a different person, and the person we bought it from said they had bought it in 1929. So he's looking back and forth, and sure enough, the knot on the door looks identical. So he goes out to the garage, and it's their truck, the same knot exactly in the wood. So anyway, he calls the lady that they bought the truck from. He said, you had told me you bought this truck in 29, but, the name I have on this picture shows a Mr. Nicholas. And he said, how could it be the same truck? So that's easy. The man that bought it was Mr. Nichols, and he had it repossessed by Dunbar because he couldn't pay for it. So it was repossessed in 29. I bought the truck in 29 also. So it turns out it was bought by 2 people in 29, and the picture was of the truck that they owned, which is a pretty neat story.
Oh, absolutely.
Pretty neat story.
Nice
I
to see you.
appreciate you giving me the time to share this with you and your audience.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Great to see you.